Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this fight for a little bit of time. I just haven't gotten around to it, so we're finally getting around to talking about this. But Xander Zayas, he's looked at as the next Puerto Rican pay-per-view star. He's supposed to be the fighter that is able to fill the shoes of Miguel Cotto as that next Puerto Rican star. Anybody who knows anything about boxing knows that ever since Miguel Cotto retired from the sport, there really has been a Puerto Rican fighter that's been able to properly fill the shoes, the pay-per-view shoes of Miguel Cotto, to be that star that headlines at the Garden and can sell upwards of 15 to 17 to 20,000 tickets plus. There hasn't been that guy in boxing in a long, long time, and a lot of people are pegging Xander Zayas as the next Puerto Rican boxing megastar. Now, we can't look too far into the future because you have to take things fight by fight. You can never overlook any opponent. And this is going to be Xander Zayas' 13th professional fight. This will be his his third fight at 154 or something like that. So with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, I'm very excited for his next opponent, and I'm very excited for his next matchup because I think it'll be a good fight. I really do. Now, his next opponent comes in the form of New Orleans' very own Quincy Chico Lavallais, and I'm very familiar with Quincy Chico Lavallais. I've covered one of his fights. I know his coach, Chase Dixon. Shout out to Chase Dixon. I know his other coach. Well, I've met his other coach, Felix. I know these guys, and Quincy Lavallais is a good fighter. A good counterpuncher, slick, has solid power. Just a real crafty fighter at the age of 28. He's one of these guys who doesn't have a whole lot of promotional backing behind him. He's kind of been a road warrior, so to speak, fighting everywhere. Fighting here in Miami. He fought Mekborn Sanagoff on the promotional card that was associated with his opponent Sanagoff. He lost a very close decision that fight, a split decision, which was the first loss of his career. I was there. I thought he won that fight. He didn't deserve that loss at all. But it is what it is. They didn't think Quincy did enough to win the fight, and it's boxing. He won 2 fights after the Sanagoff fight, and then apparently after that, I want to ask him about this myself. He had a fight in October, which I heard nothing about. He lost that fight to some guy named Norberto Casco or something like that. So this dude, Norberto, they fought in Nicaragua. Norberto had lost his previous fight to Carlos Caraballo before he fought Quincy, and then he beat Quincy. So and I'm thinking I'm getting my Caraballos confused. I'm thinking it was a Caraballo that fought Shakur, and it's not. So he lost to some random guy in Norberto Casco, and Casco didn't lose to the real Caraballo. But listen, as far as the matchup with Quincy and Xander, to me, just in my humble opinion, this has a chance to be Xander's toughest fight to date. I think on paper, because that's all we can do is look at these opponents' records, their styles, what they can do in the ring. All we can do is look at it on paper. And I think on paper, if we're comparing Quincy Lavallais at 154 to the likes of Jose Luis Sanchez and Larry Friars and DeMarcus Layton and all these different opponents, different types of opponents that Xander's fought, Quincy's hands down the best opponent he's fought. I mean, out of all these guys he's fought, Quincy Lavallais is the only one that's been on in a big TV fight or a notable TV fight and actually won. Any of you who know Quincy knows that Quincy fought Clay Collard when Clay Collard was in the middle at the apex of his prospect killer reign. And when that happened, Quincy Lavallais was the one that pretty much ended Clay Collard, and he ain't been the same since. He's been getting knocked up by almost everybody he's fought since. So he's a good fighter, and I think if the lamp almost fell, I think if Xander isn't careful and he decides to have an off night or anything like that, it could be very bad for him. Honestly, Xander Zayas has never fought, in my opinion, from what I know, and I've watched almost all of Xander's fights. He's never fought anybody as good as Quincy. And Quincy is young, like Xander. He's 28 years old, so he's a fully grown man. He's someone that knows his way around that ring. He's someone that's very crafty. He's someone that can punch just enough to get your respect. He can punch to the body when he chooses to. You know, I think for the first, this is an 8-round fight, so I think for the first 3 to 4 rounds, this is going to be a very, very tough fight for Xander. You know, Quincy can gas in the back half of fights, so there will be a chance. There will be a chance for Xander to get Quincy out of there in the later rounds. But if he is not as good as we think he is, and if he decides to have an off night or anything like that, then this could be a very problematic fight for Xander Zayas. And because there's that factor that he's fighting someone that's good enough to take him to those places, you know, I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. And I like it for Quincy too, because this might be one of those cases, and it happens in boxing. This could be one of those cases where you lose a couple fights, one that you didn't deserve to lose against Sanagoff. I thought he beat Sanagoff, but it was a close fight. You lose a fight to Sanagoff for your first professional loss. Then you win 2 fights against nondescript opposition. Then you lose in a random card in Nicaragua that nobody knows about. So he's lost 2 of his last 4 fights on paper. And this could be a scenario where, yes, he's a 500 fighter in his last 4 fights on paper, but he's a better fighter than his record would indicate in the last 4 fights. And yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. You know, I think Xander's ability to cut the ring, his defense will be tested. His ability to cut the ring, his ability to just be that ring general will be tested in this fight against Quincy Lavallais. And it's on March 19th. It's on the undercard of Edgar Berlanga versus Steve Rhodes. But in my humble opinion, this is the fight of the night. This is the fight that I'm looking forward to the most on that night when I watch that card. So that's my little take on Quincy Lavallais versus Xander Zayas. You guys can give me your take on that down below. What do you guys think about the fight? Anybody who knows anything about Quincy, drop your comments down below. If there's anything about Quincy that people are sleeping on, let me know. And to the people out there that support Xander, you know, let me know why Xander's just gonna march through Quincy and it'll be a 13th win. You know, let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from dang it. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God bless.